Hello everybody and welcome back to Cities Skylines 2, where we are currently proceeding forward here. It's apparently actually kind of daytime, remarkably. How much are we getting out of our solar power plant right now? 192 kilowatts. Okay, that is not a lot. I'm not gonna lie. Let's speed up our speed here. The real question at this point is how are we doing on our various demands? And 30 megawatts discharging? That's a yikes. We're going to have a potential power issue here pretty soon. That was a lot of alliteration. Okay, well, we're going to have a potential power issue, no doubt about that. 8 megawatts being produced by our incineration plant at this moment. Only 226 kilowatts from our solar power plant. Now, the one thing we might want to do is get this advanced tracking system going. It's pretty expensive, but I think we do it. Phenomenal. So we've upgraded that building, and now we're getting 234 kilowatts. Excellent. This will be, of course, much better once we end up getting into summertime. No doubt about that. The real question is, how much longer until then? Well, quite a while is the answer. There's a traffic jam here. I guess that makes sense that there would be a traffic jam there. Yes, it does make sense. I think what we should do is we should pull this road back, at least to about here, right? And this is a two-lane two-way highway, rather. And then I would just bring this over to be something kind of like this, right? And then we would have it come down, and it would end up merging in right here. Just like that. No problem. Cool. So that should solve that particular issue. That just gets them in on our highway system. So this will clear up over time as these guys manage to work their way back onto the road. There we go. And that just brings them directly onto our highway system, like that. So no problem whatsoever there in theory. Now it is raining right now. It's currently December and 4 degrees Celsius. I'm definitely concerned about our power situation. 34 megawatts is a lot of megawatts. So looking at our dam here, we're currently only producing 5.45 megawatts from our dam, and that is apparently just due to low water depth. Which is intriguing. This also, of course, says it can be upgraded with advanced turbines, but I have no idea how because the upgrade dialog doesn't come up. So there is that as well. That's an exciting thing. Maybe that is something that we can do, like, in here? No. Indeed not. As a hypothetical, that's saying the energy production would be 0.25 out of 69.05 megawatts. Okay, so that is, I think, in part due to the fact that it's probably winter. We're probably having some sluggish flow here due to, like, ice build-up. Hi, economy tab. Apparently you can press X for the transportation overview and Z for the economy tab. That's good to know. Now, if they're having an issue with the water depth, and terraforming is free, could we not just make this river a lot deeper? It'll take time for the water to back up, but it should not be passed through the dam, in theory, right? Right? I don't 100% know, but we could certainly consider making this a lot deeper, like down to the minimum depth here. Something kind of like this, at least just in this, like, reservoir area. Like that. Would we have to rebuild the dam for that to take effect? I don't know. And this is going to cause some potential catastrophic issues to the water here. In Cities Skylines 1, the water would just go absolutely crazy. Now I'm going to use the level terrain tool here to level all of this right on out to this bottom level. But that gives us a lot more water depth right here to work with, right? And then that water depth can just go through over here, in theory. Now, out of curiosity, what is the actual dam structure doing there? Okay, yeah, it goes all the way down to the bottom. So we'll see what happens to the water here. This is going to be interesting. Nothing at all. Oh. We're flooding the dam. Okay. So we do expect there to be some issues from this, right? Absolutely. This is fully expected. How's the dam doing in terms of production now? Ooh, so much better. Minus 28% still from low water depth. But now it's producing 75 megawatts. That is a significant upgrade. If we check our battery station, charging 34 megawatts. So that definitely is a really cheesy way to make our dam work a lot better. There's no doubt about that. It's incredibly cheesy. But it does do the trick. But it'll take some time for this water to settle into its new height, right? But it's very interesting that the water didn't fall and have to refill. It just kind of persisted. That's definitely intriguing. And I feel like we can utilize that in some way. There's a fire that just broke out over here. It is raining. But the fire engine has been dispatched, and it should arrive there relatively quickly. Now, we can see that we do have a fair amount of commercial desire, still, commercial demand here. But we're developing all of this commercial area, so that's fine. What's less fine is our demand for low density. Now, we had a fair amount of high density demand building up, and I zoned this area high density, and they built one building. 2 buildings, actually. Okay. Sure. So that's, you know, mildly awkward. I kind of want to start developing this area up over here, I feel like. This whole thing is going to be... Well, let's just get this put in here. So we know that this is going to need to be a highway up over here, right? The highway is currently connecting to the dam, but we could maybe do something about that. If we were to take this out of here, right? I just want to take the Vermont Highway out of there. Apparently we cannot get rid of the Vermont Highway. What if we get rid of this, and then the Vermont Highway? Yeah, that works. And then we can just build this road back right up through here, approximately like this. That's apparently in water. Exciting. Well, we bring this guy down, right? Just straight on down to here. And then we bring this up like that. This is a horrible intersection, and I hate it. But we can readdress that later on. So the idea here is we can now take this highway and we can bring it out this direction. In theory. We're going to need to elevate it a bit more. A fair bit more. And I want to be in straight line tool. So if we have this be here, I want it to be snapping only to the angle right now. So something kind of like that. That's a really interesting support that got put in here, and this is now functionally a roundabout. That's very interesting. So now can we go over this? Still overlapping items. That is possibly due to... This works, almost.
A driving advisory has been issued for the immediate area due to poor road conditions.
This is at the maximum height here, so I think that we just can't build over this dam.
Until conditions improve. This has been a local public service.
That is very sad.
You're listening to Second Moon, the
But I think what that means is we should just curve this highway out a little bit. So that's fine. I'm okay with that. We're going to bring this back down to 10. I want this to have snapping back on. Thank you very much. And we're going to bring it up over here. We're going to use the road curve. That is not a good angle. Let's not do that. We're going to use the road curve tool here, and I want this to just come out. This is some terrible angling.
Oh, I don't know. I'd rather wait an hour in traffic than to have to start thinking about everything all the time.
Okay.
Besides,
I want
if
it to
did
just
that,
come from
I'd never
back here.
get anywhere.
There we go. That's a little bit better. So we're going to need to get a pillar position here, right? So somewhere around here. That's giving overlapping items because of that. Right. Just here. Okay. There we go. Then we curve it up ever so slightly. And then out over this way. Now, we do have a problem with the power line here. So I want to get rid of this power line for the moment. We're going to need that power line, but for now, we'll get rid of it. And I want to bring this highway out and over like this. Okay, now we're going to need to bring the highway back. Or do we want to move the dam? I don't think we can just relocate the dam. I think we'd have to bulldoze it and rebuild it. But that might actually be okay, now that I think about it. So we bulldoze the dam. And we move that to be, like, up aligned with this road, right? So this road would then connect up somewhere over, like, here-ish. And then the dam would, I want to see right here. Okay. Apparently I can't... What is happening here? Okay. That was weird. I would like to build this road approximately here, just as a marker. So that'll be fine for now. Then we put our hydroelectric power plant back in. So that would connect, in theory, here. Over to, in theory, here. Now that's in water, invalid shape, overlapping items, distance too short. Okay, so I think that we do need to take this out of here for the time being. And then we put our hydroelectric power plant here. Or actually, we need to build it, like, here. And then this one we can take out of there for now. We pretty much know where we need this to go, right? So the hydroelectric power plant would end up going from about here over to about here or so. In water, elevation too low, not on shoreline. You're going to have to make up your mind on that. Is it in water or not on shoreline? So that's elevation too low. So I think this is actually too low at this moment. So I'm going to grab here. And we're going to do this. For the moment. Something like this. We'll see about bringing that back once we've got this built. Okay. This dam has been causing us problems with its positioning, so changing its positioning is indeed a very good thing. In water, elevation too low. That's not on shoreline. So I think we do need... Do we need to have it start higher up? What is this elevation too low trying to tell us? Trying to tell us this segment's elevation is too low. Okay. That is definitely intriguing. No doubt about that. I really want to build this right here or so. Distance too short. Not on shoreline, elevation too low. So I think that what we need to do is I'm not 100% certain, but I think that we might need to shift terrain up here. Now that's starting to bring it above the surface, right? I don't actually want it to be above the surface. So I'm going to level the terrain out here to be right here. There we go. And we'll try to bring it down again afterwards because we know that we want this elevation to be very low. But I think the core issue here is actually that we need to increase the elevation up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to level out this area right here. About like that. And then I'm going to do the same out over here, leveling out this area at about this altitude. Okay, we'll see if that allows us to build this in. Hopefully. Now, this is probably going to say not on shoreline. Yeah. So I think we need to have this go about here. In water, elevation too low, elevation too low. This would work, but it would produce negative electricity. That's pretty funny, actually. So I think we need to increase the elevation of our shore positions. I think that's the core issue here. So if we shift this up a little bit and we grab this and level out here. Like this. And level this out this way for now. We'll smooth this out again later. But for now, something along the lines of this. We put in our hydroelectric plant about here. That will allegedly produce 2 megawatts. But we can definitely alter that. So we bring this to about here, right? Like that. Now, the next thing that I want to do is I want to have this shoreline for quite a ways be significantly higher, right? So something kind of like this. Although it starts to get lower over here. Awkwardly enough. So we can smooth it out over here at this point. Soften that terrain tool. Or use the soften terrain tool out over this way. Something along the lines of that. And then I want to use the level terrain tool out this direction. Hang on. At this altitude here. And I just want to make sure that we have a decent amount of terrain here, right? So now we can use the soften terrain tool to smooth this back out a bit. I just want to make sure we've got some space here. That's the goal. Okay, we can move some of this stuff a little later on as well. So something along the lines of this. There we go. Now we can use the level terrain tool down here to ensure that we have a lot of depth right where we go here. So something along the lines of this to try to fool it into creating a bunch of power for us, ideally. So something along the lines of that. So that gives us a pretty large amount of water differential, a significantly larger amount of water differential than we previously had. Now, can we run a road this distance? Slope too steep. I'm not shocked about that. So I'm going to take this out of here. I'm going to take this out of here. All of these are going to be removed for the moment. We're going to soften. That's the level tool. We're going to soften the terrain out over here. Something like that. Then I'm going to use curve tool. We're going to bring this out over here and just curve it up like that and then merge it in here. There we go. And then this guy is going to be extended out straight over this direction, in theory. There we go. And then we're definitely going to need something here, right? This is a highway position. We can come back and put in a highway there later, I suppose. But now what we can do is we can extend this highway across here. So where would this highway actually go here? We know that this distance is supposed to be 222 meters, allegedly. So that would end up meaning that it would go like around here-ish, which does seem approximately correct, actually. Approximately. Maybe like out here? Hang on. I want to bring this over to here. What is our snapping set to? It's actually set to like everything, but that's fine. So we would bring this out. I'm just thinking about measurement here, right? So let's just get some roads built up here for measurement purposes. So this is 112. We bring this over, and we know that it would be... Well, it would be 124, right? So it would be something along the lines of this. So it would end up being about here that we'd be looking to bring this in, right? So that's reasonably fine. We can definitely put in a highway there. Do we want the highway to go down here, though? Well, actually, we've already determined where this thing goes. It goes right here, right? So that would end up coming out this direction, approximately. It would make its way up here. I'd want this to be at 180. There we go, right about there. That's giving slope too steep. So what do we have going on here? I see. Yeah, that does make some amount of sense. So we would want to continue to extend this out as much as we can, but it'll need to come up here, not that up. So what I'd really like is for it to just come in up over here, right? That gives slope too steep there. Only in this top portion, though. But it keeps moving as we move this. One thing we could think about doing is having it come in like this. Oh, that is horrific. Never mind. Okay. We're going to need to elevate the highway from here up another step. So it needs to go up to about here, going to 180 degrees. I want it to be there by the time it gets here, right? And then I want to bring it back down, in theory, here. But it actually does need to be up a little bit more. Okay. Well, we could have it come in from here. Connecting like that. That'll work. And then from there, it just goes up over here. About like that. Cool. That's straight enough. I like it. Not bad at all. So then we would bring this highway in, right? And we would just bring it straight in like that. This would gain a roundabout. Slope too steep, overlapping items. Okay, I'm not shocked about that. What if we remove this section here and we put it in like that? Then we bring out the highway from this direction and connect it over here. Invalid shape, overlapping items. Hang on, I thought I saw one there.
You already know about it. No use reminding you. Meanwhile, expect delays and drive safe.
Okay. We may be able to pull back the highway a little further this way and just connect it in over here. Does that work? Overlapping items over here.
You can now shop for designer shoes while sipping a fancy
I want to snap only to angle.
Or so my wife tells me. That's good for business and good for
And we're just looking for somewhere where we can actually build this. Would we have to elevate it up a little bit higher? Potentially. Alternatively, we may be better off to delete this road and rebuild it afterwards. Yeah, that's probably our best bet here, to be honest. So let's lower that back down to 10-meter elevation. Put this here. And then connect it in like that. Then we build under here. We've got a pillar issue right here. Okay. So this road would need to be connected up out over this way. I think that we're going to run into a significant pillar issues here is the danger. So this road would want to curve up like right here, right? In theory. Like that. Then, can we get this highway over from this position? Actually, yeah, this works. Phenomenal. That does the trick right there. Apparently there's been a crime committed right next to the fire. Okay. The power keeps going out. Well, that is probably because... Well, actually, we have charge. We have charge here. So that's okay. We do need to link up our high-yield power lines, right? So I'm going to remove these here for the moment. And we're going to move a high-voltage power line to here. And then we're going to need a high-voltage power line that comes out... something kind of like this. Okay. Then we want to make sure that this road connects in. Actually, this is a highway over here. It doesn't need to connect over here. This highway is like going into the ground at this point and should probably be pulled back and redone. That's fine. No problem whatsoever there. So we can just bring this in to be here instead. And then this road can simply go on through. Boom. Something kind of like that. Although it's slightly awkward in its positioning here. I'd like to tweak it over to the side a bit, but that doesn't unfortunately work. Okay, so we can take a look at the hydroelectric dam here. I think, yeah, we're waiting on water to fill in over here. So that's fine. This power station cannot produce enough electricity to match demand. Yes, I'm aware of that. We're discharging from our emergency battery station right now. Okay. So the efficiency is currently 3% due to the low water depth. The water depth should change. Yeah, the water depth should fill back up over here. It'll just take it a little bit of time. And that should be reasonably fine. This should be, I mean, it's already producing 7 megawatts. This should be a significantly better dam for us. One thing I'm wondering is, are we currently, like, dry over on this side? No, we're just not actually, you know, producing any electricity because the water level isn't up to here yet. That'll take a little bit of time. Also, water damage out over here. That's deeply unsurprising. We're going to have some water issues. So not enough electricity down here. Why would that be the case? We have our high voltage connection that should span all the way over here. Do we need to run a high volt? Like, does the high voltage not connect through the dam? I'm pretty sure it was previously, but maybe it wasn't, and maybe that was some of our problem with our power production. We could run a power line over here and make sure that it's connected on this side. And yeah, that solves it. Okay, so I assumed that the high voltage was connected from one side of the dam to the other. Apparently that's a bad assumption. Good to know. So that's great. We are, of course, going to be withdrawing from our emergency battery station pretty substantially until we get this filled back up. We're not quite to that point yet. It'll take some time, but that is fully expected. So we'll let this water flow in here. It is time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And next episode, we might actually get to doing something about our light residential demand. We'll see. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings. And a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Shadow Wolf, Andy McGar, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, Soccerman12 UK, Kentogan, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.